Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nerly, but you guys can call me Nerls. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. My channel is all about empowerment, music, and lifestyle. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about physical boundaries in relationships. So a lot of people have different opinions about it, and you may have some boundaries that you've thought of before, but I wanted to share a couple of them with you. Maybe not a couple. There's a list of things that some of you guys may agree with or may not agree with, but I just wanted to share with you guys so that we can get in the mindset of like thinking of those boundaries and some of the things that we have not thought of but can be detrimental to our relationships. So the verse that I wanted to point out to you guys, so God's word has a lot of verses about sexual immorality and running from temptation. So I wanted to just share with you guys a couple of verses. So in Galatians 5 verse 19, it says, when you follow the desires of your sinful nature, the results are very clear: sexual immorality, impurity, lustful pleasures. So it just goes on to explain that. In 1 Corinthians 10 verse 8, it says, we must not indulge in sexual immorality as some of them did, and 23,000 fell in a single day. So these are just different verses on sexual immorality, and there's also a couple of more that just basically says flee from temptation, flee from sexual morality as well. So it's clear that God wants us to not fall into temptation and to engage in that before marriage. So what are some of the physical boundaries that we should think about when we are getting into a relationship and we're just like, okay, what can I do and what can't I do? And then some people are just like, how far is too far, So I have a list here, and some of the things I personally want to follow, and then there are some things that some other people that I've thought of and gotten from some other people of what they think some boundaries should be as well. Let's get into the list. So one of the main things that I have is no sex. So that means any type. I know y'all probably just like, we knew that, but some other people are, probably not thinking like, okay, that should be a boundary. No sex, any type of sex. So this is like anything. If you could think about it and it's just like that's a type of sex, then nah. So that includes sexting as well, because some people are just like, oh, what do you mean? Like like you're talking about physical boundaries, but technically, if we're already thinking it, like, unfortunately, it's kind of already done. Just to say it, because it's already like in our heads. So sexting is one of them. The next one is no kissing on the lips or intimate areas. That's for some people. Like they don't want to kiss. They want their first kiss to be in marriage or at their wedding, and and it works for some people and it doesn't work for a lot of other people. Some people are just like, nah, we should be able to kiss. Like that's at least the bare minimum, But for some people, it's just like, nah, kissing, that's gonna lead to something else, and I don't want to even go through that. So for some people, no kissing. I put some of the places where some people would be okay with, like on the cheek, on the forehead, on the hand. Like some people are just like, okay, I could do that. And I agree with those things. Like, okay, the cheek should be okay, the forehead, hand, you know. So for some people, kissing is okay, and for other people, that's a boundary for them. Another one is no touching intimate body parts. I know some people are just like, yeah, we know this, Nerly. Yeah, we don't do that. We already kind of know that we're not supposed to do that. You know, I know that we may have it up here, right? We might have it up here. But when the time comes and you're just like, you know, a song could be playing, or you know, you guys are alone and it's just like that moment, you may not be thinking like, that's a boundary, you know. So just so that you guys kind of have that idea in mind, because some of you may not have that boundary, but no touching in intimate body parts. So this could be for a lot of different things, because some people, like, an intimate body part could be their knees. Like, listen, if you touch my knees, like for some people that's just like, don't touch my knees, like don't touch my shoulder, ooh, don't touch my cheek, don't touch my face. So like, listen, they already get to that mindset, and it's just like, we're not trying to get to that mindset right now. We're not trying to do that. So the knees for some people, the thigh, the booty. For some people, they're just like, don't do it. Don't do it. And that's just a part of just keeping that purity in mind, because we always have to have that purity in mind, and to be intentional about being pure, you know, being intentional about walking in purity, because we're not perfect, we're gonna make mistakes, but at least if we have those things in mind or set in place, or we're being intentional about living it out, it just helps us out, and there could be fewer mistakes happening because of those boundaries, because of those decisions that we're making. No sleeping in the same bed. So if you come over, don't sleep in my bed. Like, don't sleep. We're not gonna take a nap together. We're not gonna take a nap on the couch together. Just no sleeping in the same bed. And for some people, that's already a, like, you know, because what if, like, you guys live together? That's like a whole nother a video about actually like living together. But no sleeping in the same bed, that's some people's boundaries. No hanging out in each other's room, so that just goes hand in hand. Like, if we hang out in each other's rooms, like, are other people home? Is the door open? Like, all these different things that kind of go hand in hand when it comes to, like, you know, trying to keep the boundaries. You know, like, are other people around and know that, you know, you're here right now, you're at my house, you're in my room? Like, is that gonna help me keep me accountable? Those type of things. No hanging out alone past a certain time. So if your time is 10, if your time is 11, I know some people, they're just like, after 8 o'clock, I'm home. Like, I'm home after 8 o'clock. Like, I'm not trying to stay up that night, you know, like late night or whatever. So for some people, they're just like, after 8, after 9, like, nope, I gotta be home, I gotta be indoors, like that type of thing. Some people are like that. So what boundaries do you have? Like, no hanging out alone past a certain time. Maybe if it's a group setting, it might be a little bit better. Like, maybe if it's like after an event, like I know with me and my friends, like after an event, after the service, whatever, like we go out to eat. So it's a group setting. So in that type of setting, you know, it's pretty okay with me, because we're not alone. Like, we're actually with other people. So at least for me, like, I think during like a certain time frame or whatever, if we're not alone, like, it's a good thing, it's okay. This one is another one. Whew. All right. No sending nude or inappropriate pictures. I know. Some people might be like, that's not a physical boundaries, a physical boundary. But at the same time, it kind of is, because this is your physical, and the boundaries are, are need to be set there, because some people think that's okay. Like, he not doing nothing, she not doing nothing. It's just a picture. Mm. The thing is that what is the purpose of this picture? Like, why are you sending this picture? Is it appropriate? Is it modest? Like, and if you can't, like, this is what my friend said, and I agree with her. If you can't post it on Instagram and you can't post it on Snapchat, then you probably should not be sending this picture. I know, it's just like, and if for some people it's just like, I'm cute today, I'm cute, my makeup look nice, my hair, and then it's just like, okay, I got this V-neck shirt and all that stuff, and so for some people, they're just like, oh yeah, you can send it. You can send it. Like, you cute. He need to know that you cute, like, he needs to know that you're cute today. So for some people, they're just like, yeah, you can send it. But other people is just like, maybe you shouldn't send it, because you don't know what that picture gonna do. You don't know what thoughts are gonna run through his mind, or the thoughts that you actually want him to have in his mind. So it's just like, maybe you should just, think about it before you send the picture. Like, okay, is this an appropriate picture? If it's a nude picture, you already know, like, nah, don't send it. Don't send it, sis. Do not send it, because it goes beyond just the phone. There's like so much things that could just go wrong with that one action, and with that, I think it sends a message also of like validation, that sometimes we just want to be validated. We want to know, like, okay, he thinks I'm beautiful, he thinks that I'm sexy, or he thinks that, I look good today. So we try to, get that from him, and it's just like, we kind of let ourselves down sometimes, because what if he doesn't answer back? Or what if, something happens and it's just like you send it to the wrong person? Like, it's just a lot of things that just could go wrong. Okay, don't do it. Just don't do it. Some other things that I put as far as dancing on the dance floor, like basically having sex on the dance floor, like some of the dance moves out right now, the grinding, the dance moves that may just be like a little bit too much. Now, I know when your song come on, you don't be thinking about that. You are not thinking about the certain dance moves that you shouldn't do, because of course if the beat drop, you ready. But at the same time, you got to remember, like, other people are watching, and whoever is around you, or who you're dancing with, like, you just have to be mindful, because remember, this may not even be your husband. Like, this may, like, come on, you need to, sometimes we have to have that mindset, like, a few months from now, you may not even be with him. Like, a few months from now, y'all might get into an argument, and that's it. Like, it's one of those things, like, you just think, you're just not thinking about, but it could happen. And because it's not like you're committed to this person, as far as like, like y'all married or whatever, so it's just like you're already giving everything right now. Like, you giving everything right now, and it's just like, dang, maybe we should slow it down sometimes when it comes to that. And we're not thinking about that in the moment, but these are some boundaries that people have, because they have thought about that moment, or they have thought about this, or have gone through this, and it's just like, yeah, we shouldn't have even danced like that on the dance floor, because everybody now, because some people might be like, hey, you remember that guy you was dancing with, what happened to him? Like, y'all still together? Like, that type of thing. So there's just some things that you should just keep it, just try your best to not be too much. Don't take it overboard. Don't drop it too low. Don't do Like, just say precautions, you know. I'm not saying don't dance, but like, you know, definitely just keep it in mind, like, don't be too much right now. Don't do too much. All right. So the next one is cuddling, spooning, that sort of thing. So I mean, for some people it's all good. Like, we could cuddle. Like, there's nothing gonna happen. Like, we've done it before. Like, cuddling is fine. So for some people it's okay. For other people, nope. We cannot cuddle, we cannot spoon, like I can't sit on your lap. So those type of things are just like, you know, not good for some people. And they're just like, nope, can't do it. You just have to know what are the things that are just not gonna be beneficial for you, or that is tempting for you to actually go that route. And you know, once you figure out, okay, yeah, like when it comes to this, like I don't feel comfortable when it comes to this. I feel like this would lead us to something else, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. And you know, I want to honor God with our relationship. And those are the type of, you know, conversations that you should have with someone that you are serious about and that you want to take to that level. So that's that. And then I have like 3 more, guys. I know. Modest swimsuits and bikinis around him, and other clothing, like just clothing in general. So it kind of goes kind of hand in hand with the appropriate pictures as well. If it's a day that you guys want to go to the beach, or you know, go to the pool, like, hey, what kind of bathing suit are you wearing? Are you wearing something that's modest that doesn't show too much, or like, are you wearing shorts on top of it? Are you wearing a cover up over it? Like, are you trying like your best to be modest, but you know, still dress for the occasion? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to wear a bathing suit. Or for some people, they're fine with a tank top and like some shorts, and they're just like, yeah, that's it. That's all you're gonna see, like a tank top and some shorts. But for some other people, like, they want to wear a bathing suit. Like me, I would want to wear a bathing suit, but I would probably like wear a cover up over it. Maybe some shorts, if you know, depending on, you know, the bathing suit, I may want to wear shorts or cover up. And that's modest enough to be like, okay, you don't see everything, but you know, at least I'm dressed for the occasion, you know. So for some people, like, they're just like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, you have to have your shirt on, you have to have your pants on, like that sort of thing. So you just have to have those conversations, like, okay, what do you think is appropriate and not appropriate? Modest, not modest? What would, you know, entice you? What would tempt you? What, you know, those type of things. Because once you have that conversation, it's kind of easier for you to like go through that relationship with, you know, those things in mind, and you guys can keep each other accountable because of that. The next one is watching sexual content together. Now, in 2019, almost everything has sexual content, like literally almost everything. But if you guys are being intentional and you're just like, okay, maybe we should not watch Power, we should not watch Game of Thrones together, we should not watch, you know, I don't know, whatever has other stuff, other sexual content stuff. If you make it a boundary to not watch those things together, because watching those things gives you those ideas, and then the person right next to you, so it's just like, you know, yeah. So for some people, that's not something that they want to do, and that is a boundary for them. And you know, it's all good, because with them, they know their boundaries, and they know what turns them on, what turns them off, their temptations, all those things. So because they know that, they can easily say like, yeah, we can't watch this together, you know. And that's fine, you know, it's all good. Now, the last one that I have one more. All right. So the last one is no undressing or showering at each other's houses. No showering or undressing at each other's houses. So that means if he has to go somewhere, and you know he's at the house or whatever, and he has to change for work or maybe change for an event or whatever, like for some people that's a rule, like no undressing, no showering at my house, and that works for them, like, and it's good for them. For some people it's just like, okay, well, what if something happens, you know, we're going out after, but he just came from work and then he has to get dressed or whatever. Now, if that's already the case, you already know the event is going to be after work and all that stuff, there's some things that can be done. Like he can get dressed maybe at his job. He can probably get dressed at a friend's house, or go back to his house and get dressed before the event. So if you're already like thinking of, you know, thinking ahead of time, like, hey, I need to do this before I even get to his house or her house, whatever it is. If you're already in that mindset, then you can already prepare, like, okay, I'm not gonna have time to do this. Let me make sure I could go to my friend's house, or I could go this place to get it done. And then that's for some people. Like I said, this is not for everybody. All these different boundaries that I mentioned, like, it's not for everybody, but it's just something to consider, because now you can think about, like, okay, so what are my boundaries? Like, what is acceptable and not acceptable for me in my relationship? Like, do I want to follow all of these? Do we want to just follow a couple of them? Like, what is beneficial for us? What will glorify God? Yeah, so like all of those things, because the Bible isn't specific on the boundaries that we should have, but it definitely tells us, you know, to flee from temptation and to flee from sexual immorality, and to not follow our fleshly desires and our nature, you know, our fleshly nature. So when it all boils down to that, like, we need to find out, you know, what are those things that we should consider as boundaries. You know, what are those things that we should consider as boundaries? So thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was a lot, and if you have a comment, and if you have some other boundaries that you thought of, like, put them on the comments, guys. I want to hear. I want to know what you guys think about, you know, this whole thing, like, as far as physical boundaries in relationships. Yeah, so just put it on the comments. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. Remember to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.